For about 8 years now, I've been doing group interviews, and it is seriously one of the most powerful ways for you to screen the people that are right for your team and your business moving forward, and those that may appear to be on paper but may not necessarily be the right team fit. And I'm going to explain more about that right now, what to do, how to make it most powerful for you moving forward. Alright, so first and foremost, group interviews, what actually are they really quickly? I've been doing them for about 8 years now, and I learnt them from a couple of my business coaches and my mentors. And to be totally honest, I thought originally, well, that's a waste of time, this is ridiculous, why would you do that? But I soon understood the power of them. I saw it firsthand, and I realized, hey, I need to learn this and I need to get better at it, and I realized how much of a powerful tool it could actually be. So I started doing it in the health industry. Some of the previous experts in the industry laughed at me, thought it was silly and a total waste of time, and it was all about putting someone in front of them and asking them the particular questions and testing them out, etc. The reality is this: everyone, when you turn up to a one-on-one interview, is going to present to you who they feel you're wanting to actually see. They're going to dress nice, they're going to sit up straight, their hands are in their lap. Yes sir, I think this, 3 bags full, sir. They know the questions. I mean, everyone for the last 20 or 30 years, there's courses you can do about what type of questions people are going to ask, how to best redirect off questions and ask the interviewer a question, how to always make it about them, how to talk them up and make them sound good, and how grateful you are without pissing in their pocket as such. So for probably 15 years or 20 years now, the power of this relationship of the interview is actually in the interviewee's hands. They're the ones that can come across as how they feel you're wanting. They could look at the ads that you use, the words, the phrases, what type of position is on offer. They can go and background the company. They can look at your social media and your websites and find out more about who you are and what you do, and tailor their approach, tailor their background of experience to be exactly in line with who you guys are and your team and where you're wanting to go. And it just feels right to you that, they're the right person, they've got this experience, they've got this, they've got that, and it's just amazing, and away you go. They then land the job because they nailed the interview, and you find out that it's not actually the best fit for your team. Well, here's the thing. The reason why a group interview is so powerful, and it's the reason why I can't believe that some of these people that still call themselves the business development experts in our industry actually thought I was an idiot for doing this, because now they're the ones that are actually trying to teach this as well. And the fact of the matter is group interviews are amazingly powerful, okay? There's only, I'm not going to go into the exact specifics of how to set them up, but suffice to say there are 3 parts to the actual group-based interview. And when you put them together very specifically with our model that we have, the specific things to say and do in the right order, it is amazingly fun. First and foremost, you find out exactly who they are, you find out how they interact with yourself and the team. There's no overconfidence, there's no arrogance, and you get control of that scenario, not the interviewee, which always happens in a one-on-one situation. So here's a couple of parts that makes them so powerful. First and foremost, I was saying before, when they do a one-on-one, they're always going to put a different person forward. Now, that's not because they're not true to themselves. It's not because they lack integrity, but every single person would do that. I do it, you do it. It's part of the human dynamic to always try and put your best foot forward. So we'll, try and use the right language. We'll try and speak clearly. We'll try and answer everything perfectly, etc., because we're under the pump. We know from the observer effect, just by, observing the way and focusing on something you say and do, you'll heighten a more positive response by 8 to 12%. So in a one-on-one, it doesn't work. In a group situation, you find very quickly that people, or most people, about 80% of people's guard gets dropped straight away. So even if there's only 3 or 4 people there, by the time there's 2 or 3 people from the team as well, there's a group of 7 or 8 people that are actually involved. As a net result, we can get ourselves started off a lot more laid back. It can be a lot more relaxed, and everyone drops their guard. They're not as uptight. They don't have the guard up waiting to be tested on their skill competency level of can they write out the Krebs cycle from bioenergetics at university, etc. They don't worry about that. They're a little bit more relaxed, and you get a lot better gauge on who they are, how they normally will act in and around your team, how they're going to act around the group dynamics that, hey, guess what? They're going to be working with. And that becomes really powerful, because if you're working 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day, you're actually going to find that by the time you take out sleep, let's say you sleep for 8 hours, that only leaves 16 hours a day till you're actually awake. Now, if you're at work for 8 or 9 hours a day, more than half of your time that your eyes are actually open each day are going to be spent with that team. I want to make sure they're a great fit. I want to make sure that they're relaxed, that they're able to have a bit of fun, that they're able to actually interact with the team members, that we're actually going to not find that it's a bit awkward to be around these people. Because yes, they might be clinically amazing. Yes, they might be able to recite everything at university and they got their PhD and masters and there's all these type of different postgrad studies. That's great, but if they're not the right team fit and they're not going to be the person that I can best help to grow personally and professionally, then we're not going to be able to change as many people's lives. We're not going to be able to have as much influence, because I'm sorry, but it's not about the technical skills. It's so much about how we can change people's behaviors, try and get people doing the right thing, being more accountable for their actions, and as a net result, that is what actually is more important to get the patient outcomes we need. So when we're in a group-based environment, ourselves as the interviewers are going to drop a little bit of that arrogance. We're going to drop that little bit of the whole, we're all high and mighty and this person's here trying to suck up and get a job. That happens in one-on-ones all the time, let's be honest. When you're in a group, it means most people in that situation actually will just bring themselves back down a little bit more of a level so that we're all on the same level. They won't see themselves as high and mighty and looking down onto the interviewee saying things like, you know, what makes you the best candidate for this job, or why do you think you're the best person to join our team? Right? That's overconfidence, that's arrogance. You've got to drop that rubbish first and foremost in a one-on-one. In a group, very, very few people are that arrogant and self-absorbed to take that attitude. You yourself will be a lot more relaxed and laid back. You'll be looking around at different people, and it will be more about the team. It will be more about inclusion. It will be more about finding out how they are going to interact with the team. So whilst the 3 parts of a group interview are very important for specific reasons and why, the actual group interview itself is uber important in the hiring process. The other major part of this is that you start to get a really good understanding of their behavioral characteristics. Now, I'm not talking about personality traits. We're talking about things like a DISC profile, their behavioral analysis. You know, are they going to be more dominant, more influential? Are they more stable? Are they more cautious? How do they act when they're being observed? How do they act and talk and engage when they're around team members and around a group? Because let's be completely honest, I want to know that if we're going to be running some group hydro classes or group exercise classes or a Pilates class or any of these different scenarios with this new team member, I want to see first and foremost how they go straight up in a small group environment. I want to see what their behavior is like, whether they're more of the leader, more of the person who feels empowered to be able to make decisions, take control and put their best foot forward. Or whether they're the shrinking violet that might look amazing on paper, will absolutely nail a one-on-one, but in a group-based scenario with clients, they just absolutely wilter like a flower in the middle of summer in the sun. All right? So group interviews become super powerful. You get to see so much more about the person's behavioral traits, which is actually coachable, and as opposed to trying to manipulate personality, right? Because you can only try and manipulate someone's personality in that respect. You can easily coach and modify your behavior. And so as a net result, we start to understand in that group dynamic how coachable someone is, how much influence you're going to be able to help them to empower them to make better decisions with people at the right time, how they're going to best communicate in that type of environment, how you're going to best be able to work with these people, some of the things that are going to work, some of the things that aren't going to work. So when you've done your background on this and you actually understand how powerful these group interviews are, you can get a massive amount of understanding from it straight away. We can even throw in some little stresses in there and see how people cope, not just under stress one-on-one, but more so how they are as a group. Because how many times do you see clients in health businesses where they come in with their mum and dad, or their partner comes in with them, or there's 2 or 3 people, they come in with a carer? That becomes a group dynamic, and how you respond in that situation is exceptionally different from how you are one-on-one. So guys, that's why group interviews are so amazingly powerful. You get to change the mindset, take control more so than in a one-on-one. You always will drop a little bit of that overconfidence and arrogance so that you're not trying to sell yourself or your business. They will actually be trying to sell themselves to you, which is what you want. You will be in a scenario where you get to know them better with their guard dropped, how they're going to work with your team. Are they the right fit? Do they fit the right points of culture with your team? How they go in a group environment with clients? Who are the ones that are going to be more coachable? What's their behavioral ability like? What's their behavioral status like under stress? Those are crucial factors that I want to know first and foremost to know whether they're going to be a good fit and whether I'm going to be able to work with them and develop them personally and professionally. That is more important than doing a one-on-one interview, looking at a resume which is probably 90% lies, with a whole lot of resumes which are obviously, with a whole lot of referees that are planted, that know that they're going for jobs, that are happy to just make them sound amazing and things like that. That's not nearly as powerful as doing a group interview and finding out whether the person, first and foremost, is a fit for your group and team. And if they are, then you can move forward. If they're not, and there's too many yellow flags or some red flags there, then you can not waste any more time and effort, and you can cut them from that process and move forward with the people that are the best fit first and foremost for your team moving forward. And that's why group interviews are essential. That's why they're super powerful, and that's why they should be done first in the hiring process. Hope that helps. Feel free to hit me up with any questions you have. Go and make it happen, and you'll soon realize how powerful and important they are in the hiring process as well. Cheers for now. Hey guys, thank you very much for listening to another episode of the Profitable Practice Podcast. I would love nothing more than for you to be able to leave a review. I get so much joy out of listening and reading the amazing things that you guys say about this. So please subscribe to our channel, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Let's get some more fantastic information out there so all of us can grow the industry together. Cheers for now.